I just was hoping that I wouldn't die. Like, I couldn't defend myself, and I just didn't want. I just didn't want the outcome to be bad, like me dying.
We are hearing for the first time from the truck driver who was attacked by a police dog as he surrendered with his hands up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jim Nelson. Jadarius Rose talking about what was going through his mind during that whole ordeal. Here's See a New Yorker.
It's the video that's gone viral.
Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Don't. Do not get the dog off of it.
Truck driver Jadarius Rose of Tennessee screaming out in pain after a Circleville police officer unleashed his K-9, ordering him to attack. This all happened on the 4th of July as the Ohio State Highway Patrol tried to pull over Rose's semi after they say he failed to stop for an inspection. Stop 6 had to be used to bring the truck to a screeching halt. Rose says he feared for his life, so he called 911 for help.
Well, I was on the phone with 911 still, and she was telling me just to listen to what they were saying and follow their instructions. And I did that. And then I was walking towards the state trooper because he was telling me to come to him. But I still was kind of like fearful that they would shoot me because like in that moment, like I got a lot of guns pointed at me. And it's like, I don't know if they're gonna shoot me. So I tried to like zone everybody that had guns out and just focus on the guy that was talking to me. And then the 2 police officers from Circleville came, and I was confused on why they was trying to get me to do something different than what the state troopers had already told me to do. So I just stopped in the middle of that because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I was afraid that something would happen, and it did happen.
Troopers who initiated the stop were clearly shocked because they repeatedly warned Circleville police officers that the suspect surrendered.
Was I not loud enough?
You said it 3, 4 moments.
You just let a dog bite me.
All you had to do was come to me.
I was coming, all the guns pointing at me. How you do you expect me to respect you? You got a gun pointing at me. It's like 20 of y'all.
Rose was treated for dog bites at a hospital and then arrested and released on bond. The officer for the Circleville Police Department, Ryan Speakman, has been terminated. The police department said Officer Speakman, quote, did not meet the standards and expectations we hold for our police officers. As for Rose, he's been charged with failure to comply, a felony, and could face 6 to 18 months in prison. He hopes the charges will be dropped. Rose was terminated by Western Express, the trucking company. Rose says he is seeing a psychologist to help process that day.
I thought I was going to lose my life. I was in pain. I really couldn't see what other officers was doing because the dog was biting me, and I just was in fear of my life, and I just was screaming in pain, and I just didn't want to die. Like, I didn't want to die in the hands of the police.
Reporting in Cleveland, See a New Yorker, 19 News.